Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am your host, Josh Davis, also known as Crash. And today is Wednesday, March 29th, 2023. I'm here to go over the 10-game slate in the NBA tonight. So we have a lot of games to cover, a lot of news to go over. So going to be a pretty lengthy podcast today. If you're new to the channel, if you would hit the like button and then hit subscribe. After you've done those two things, if you would hit the alarm bell, that will let you know when our newest podcast has gone live. If you're new to DFS Coach Talk, we have our Major League Baseball opening day special. And so what you want to do to get in on that, if you haven't joined DFS Coach Talk yet, send us a DM over on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk. Let us know you're interested in the MLB special. And you will get the rest of the month of March and all of April for just $29. So just send us a message. Like I said, send us a DM on Twitter. Let us know you want that, and we'll get you in our Discord. Our Discord is a very encouraging, very family-friendly community. And we have lineups for FanDuel and YAHOO each day on there for all of our major sports. When they're participating and mainly NBA and MLB, which starts tomorrow. Super excited about that. So we have the FanDuel and YAHOO lineups, and then the DraftKings core that we give out to our members. So hope to see you soon. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this 10-game slate tonight, starting with the Milwaukee Bucks at the Indiana Pacers, starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. Milwaukee is favored by 11.5. This game has a 237 over/under. For the Bucks, you have Giannis is likely to play. Same thing with Goran Dragic. Looks like Joe Ingles and Chris Middleton are questionable. Jay Crowder and Myers Leonard are out. So that's the Bucks. And then for the Pacers, Miles Turner is questionable. Chris Duarte, Tyrese Halliburton, that's the big one. He's out. And same thing with Buddy Hield. He's also out. So last time these two teams played, they played in Milwaukee. The Pacers actually won. Brook Lopez didn't play in that game, and that was a big part of the reason why they won. Without him in there, it's just really hard for the Bucks to defend like they do when he is in there. So it just makes a huge difference. So Lopez is supposed to be in the lineup tonight. So you've got for the Bucks, Drew Holiday, Grayson Allen, Chris Middleton, which he's questionable. We'll see if he plays. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Brook Lopez. And then for the Pacers, you've got Andrew Nembhard, Benedict Mathurin, Aaron Nesmith, Jordan Nwora, and Miles Turner, who's questionable. In this game, I like Brook Lopez. Like I said, he missed the last time they played the Pacers. He's 7,000 on DraftKings, 8,000 on FanDuel, $26 on YAHOO. He's averaged 41.6 DraftKings points in his last 10 games. The Pacers have allowed the third most fantasy points to centers. He's very low owned, 0.9% on DraftKings, 0.2% on FanDuel, and 2.2% on YAHOO. Then we have some value in Pat Connaughton. I do think that Middleton will be out tonight. I think that they'll rest him. They're playing the Celtics tomorrow, and that's a huge game for them. So I think they're going to rest Middleton. So he's 4,000. Connaughton is 4,000 on DraftKings, 4,900 on FanDuel, and $10 on YAHOO. He's less than 1% owned on all three sites. So I think that Pat Connaughton's in a good spot, assuming that Middleton is out, but I do think he will be. Then you have Bobby Portis. He's 6,900 on DraftKings, 6,700 on FanDuel, and $17 on YAHOO. He's averaged 36.5 DraftKings points against the Pacers this year. The Bucks get a big lead. I think he's going to play extended minutes. I think the Bucks are going to be careful with Giannis because they have that big game against Boston tomorrow. Right now, Portis is 0.1% owned on all three sites. So I do think that Bobby Portis is going to be a good play at low ownership for the Bucks. On the Pacers side, you have Jordan Nwora. It's a revenge game for him. The Bucks traded him to Indiana. He's 5,200 on DraftKings, 5,400 on FanDuel, $13 on YAHOO. Both Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield are out. He had 32.3 DraftKings points against the Bucks on March 16th. He is highly owned, 35.1% on DraftKings, 34.6% on FanDuel, and 29% on YAHOO. Personally, my favorite play from the Pacers, the guy that's absolutely killed us, has been TJ McConnell. He's 6,000 on DraftKings, 6,100 on FanDuel, and $16 on Yahoo. He's averaged 48.2 DraftKings points in 3 games against the Bucks this year. He's only 10.8% owned on DraftKings, higher owned on FanDuel and Yahoo. He's 25.6% on FanDuel and 26.4% on Yahoo. So that is that first game. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chat. What's up, Stacks? Nathan Feudy, how's it going? Travis, how are you? Absolute Power, Rodney Pollard, Todd Lives for Sundays, King of All Trades, Doug, how's it going, everybody? Next game, the Houston Rockets at the Brooklyn Nets. Starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Brooklyn favored by 10.5, has a 228.5 over-under. You have Jason Tate is out for the Rockets, and Edmund Sumner is questionable. Sumner is questionable for the Nets. For the Rockets, you've got a projected starting lineup: Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Kenyon Martin Jr., Jabari Smith, Alperen Sengun. For the Nets, Spencer Dinwiddie, Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Nicholas Claxton. My top plays in this game, I don't really like anybody on Houston. I do like Mikal Bridges. He's 7,600 on DraftKings, 8,100 on FanDuel, $29 on Yahoo. The Rockets have allowed the 5th most fantasy points to shooting guards this year. He did have 45 DraftKings points against Houston on March 7th. He's averaged 48.8 DraftKings points over his last 3 games. He's 22.7% on DraftKings, 19.3% on FanDuel, and 28.2% on Yahoo. So he is getting a decent amount of ownership, but you'll see later on that there's some pretty ridiculously high owned players for a 10-game slate. So he's definitely one to keep in mind, though. Probably going to be a core play. Then you have Nicholas Claxton, 7,000 on DraftKings, 7,600 on FanDuel, $27 on Yahoo. He had 46.3 DraftKings points against the Rockets on March 7th. He's 11.4% on DraftKings, 18.5% on FanDuel, and 19.6% on Yahoo. Next game between the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden. For the Heat, you've got Jimmy Butler, who is listed as probable, I believe. Yeah, likely available, probable. Then you have Kyle Lowry is questionable. He was doubtful. Now he's questionable, so he's trending in the right direction. And then you have Gabe Vincent's also questionable. For the Knicks, Jalen Brunson is questionable. We don't know if he's going to play. Derrick Rose, haven't seen that name in a while. He's questionable. Right now, the projected starting lineup is going to be Gabe Vincent for the Heat, Gabe Vincent, Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, Kevin Love, Bam Adebayo. For the Knicks, Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. My favorite plays in this game on the Heat side, I like Jimmy Butler. He's 8,700 on DraftKings, 9,600 on FanDuel, only $38 on Yahoo. He's averaged 47.3 DraftKings points in 3 games against the Knicks this year, 8.1% on DraftKings, 3.9% on FanDuel, and 11.8% on Yahoo. Also like Tyler Hero, boy from Cali, shout out to you. I know he's one of your favorite players, if not your favorite player. 6,500 on DraftKings, 7,200 on FanDuel, and $25 on Yahoo. He's averaged 43.8 DraftKings points in his 3 games against the Knicks this year. He's 17.5% on DraftKings, 5% on FanDuel, and 7.4% on Yahoo. For the Knicks, Julius Randle is 9,800 on both DraftKings and FanDuel. He's $40 on Yahoo. He's averaged 49.9 DraftKings points in 3 games against the Heat this year. Very low owned, 1.9% on DraftKings, 0.7% on FanDuel, and 4.6% on Yahoo. If Jalen Brunson sits, I think that RJ Barrett could be a good play. He's 6,200 on DraftKings, 6,300 on FanDuel, $19 on Yahoo. He's averaged 36.2 DraftKings points in 3 games against Miami this year. He's 5% on DraftKings, 3.3% on FanDuel, and 2.2% on Yahoo. If Brunson sits, another thing I'll say, I don't think Emmanuel Quickley is in a good spot. Miami's really tough on point guards. They may have even allowed, I think they might have allowed the fewest, one of the fewest, third fewest fantasy points to point guards this year. So if Brunson's out, I would not go to Emmanuel quickly. Next game, Dallas Mavericks at the Philadelphia 76ers, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Sixers are favored by 4. This game has a 231.5 over under. Maxi Kleba is questionable for the Mavericks, and Ntilikina is out. For the Sixers, both Embiid and Harden are questionable, so we'll have to see what happens there. The lineups you've got for the Mavericks: Luka, Kyrie Irving, Tim Hardaway Jr., Reggie Bullock, Dwight Powell, and then for the Rockets, saw James Harden, thought of the Rockets. For the Sixers, James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, PJ Tucker, and Joel Embiid. Like I said, both Harden and Embiid are questionable, so big question marks there if they're going to play or not. Kyrie Irving is my favorite play on Dallas. He's 9,500 on DraftKings, 9,300 on FanDuel, $41 on Yahoo. He had 62 DraftKings points against the Sixers on March 2nd. Luka had 69, I think, or 68 DraftKings points in that game. So he's almost $3,000 more. So I'm going with Kyrie. He's a better deal. He's 0.9% on DraftKings, 4% on FanDuel, and 1.8% on Yahoo. So if you can get a similar ceiling, not ceiling because Luka has a higher ceiling, but similar outcome from Irving for 2,500 less, I think that's the way to go. So, or 2,000 less. All right. So then the Sixers, you've got Embiid. If he plays, he's 11,000 on DraftKings, 11,800 on FanDuel, $57 on Yahoo. Now, here's the thing about Embiid. He's only scored 49 DraftKings points on March 2nd against the Mavericks. He's only averaged 52.5 in 8 games against the Mavericks in his career. And the Mavericks have allowed the 5th fewest fantasy points to centers this year. So I'm going to be fading Embiid tonight. I know he might be, more of a popular play, but I will be fading Embiid. I think it's a tough matchup just based on what's happened in the past. And I also think Dallas isn't playing very well, and this game could get out of hand. If Harden and Embiid both play, I think Philly could win this game by 15 to 20 plus. Tyrese Maxey, if Harden is out, I do like him. He's 8,900 on DraftKings, 8,000 on FanDuel, $27 on Yahoo. He's averaged 41.3 DraftKings points without Harden this year. He's had 51.4 these last 2 games without Harden against the Nuggets and the Suns, so good teams. He had 38 DraftKings points against the Mavericks on March 2nd with James Harden in the lineup. So without him in the lineup, if he's out, I think Tyrese Maxey's a really good play. He's getting no ownership, 0.1% on DraftKings, 0.5% on FanDuel, and 2% on Yahoo. Next game is the Los Angeles Lakers at the Chicago Bulls, 8 p.m. Eastern. The Lakers are favored by 2.5. It's surprising considering the Bulls just won in LA. So Lakers are favored by 2.5, has a 227.5 over under. For the Lakers, looks like Anthony Davis is probable. And then D'Angelo Russell is also probable. LeBron is questionable, so we don't know yet if he's going to play. Mo Bamba is out. And then for the Bulls, Alex Caruso is questionable, and same thing for Javonte Green. The projected starting lineup, you have Russell, Reeves, LeBron, James Vanderbilt, and Anthony Davis. Jared Vanderbilt, Anthony Davis, Patrick Beverly, Alex Caruso, if he plays, he's questionable. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic for the Bulls. My top plays are Anthony Davis. He's 10-6 on DraftKings, 10-5 on FanDuel, $48 on Yahoo. He's averaged 53.1 DraftKings points in his career in Chicago. That's his hometown. So going back home, I do like him tonight. He's only 3.3% on DraftKings, 14.1% on FanDuel, and 10.4% projected owned on Yahoo. On the Bulls side, DeMar DeRozan is 8,300 on DraftKings, 8,800 on FanDuel, $37 on Yahoo. He's averaged 49.9 DraftKings points his last 3 games against the Lakers. The Lakers have allowed the 8th most fantasy points to power forwards this year. He did have 43 DraftKings points in LA on Sunday. He's 9.6% on DraftKings, 6.4% on FanDuel, and 8.6% on Yahoo. Then you have Zach LaVine. He's 8,100 on both DraftKings and FanDuel. He's $35 on Yahoo. He's averaged 46.2 DraftKings points his last 5 games against the Lakers. He had 40.5 on Sunday in LA. He's 14.1% on DraftKings, 15.2% on FanDuel, and 7.8% on Yahoo. Before we go to the next game, which is the Jazz at the Spurs, I'm going to check the chat again. Butler's probable. Hey, Skylar, how's it going, man? Earl Pep Tyson, what's up? Boy from Cali, yeah, I see you there. Butler, Myron, no, I don't think Butler's out. Bev, how's it going? 5 value plays on FanDuel. We will get to that as we get towards the later part of the slate. That's where your value is. All right, so the next game is 8 p.m. Eastern, the Utah Jazz in San Antonio. There is some value in this game. You have for the Jazz, Clarkson, Rudy Gay, Lauri Markkanen. That's the big one. He's out. And Colin Sexton is also out. And then for the Spurs, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, Devin Vassell. So they're 3 main guys right there. And then Khem Birch are out. So Utah's favored by 4, has a 234 over under. You've got for the Jazz, Talen Horton-Tucker, Ochai Agbaji, Simone Fontecchio, Kelly Olynyk, Walker Kessler, and then for San Antonio, Trey Jones, Romeo Langford, Malachi Branham, Keita Bates-Diop, and Zach Collins. I like Walker Kessler here. He's 7,300 on DraftKings, 7,900 on FanDuel, $27 on Yahoo. San Antonio has allowed the second most fantasy points to centers this year. He's averaged 49.1 DraftKings points his last 2 games against Sacramento and Phoenix. He's 12.7% on DraftKings, 20.7% on FanDuel, and seeing quite a bit of ownership at 30.8% on Yahoo. Then you have Talen Horton-Tucker. He's 6,900 on DraftKings, 6,300 on FanDuel, $22 on Yahoo. The Spurs have allowed the 5th most fantasy points to point guards this year. He's at 14.5% on DraftKings, 38.3% on FanDuel, and 23.8% on Yahoo. Kelly Olynyk is also in a good spot with Markkanen out. He's 6,800 on DraftKings and FanDuel, $24 on Yahoo. The Spurs have allowed the most fantasy points to power forwards this year. He's at 20.5% on DraftKings, 25.2% on FanDuel, and 22.8% on Yahoo. And then Chris Dunn is also in play with Sexton and Clarkson out. He's 5,500 on DraftKings, 5,100 on FanDuel, and $18 on Yahoo. The Spurs have allowed the 5th most fantasy points to point guards this year. He is 6.8% only on DraftKings, but he's 32% on FanDuel, and then only 3.4% on Yahoo. On the Spurs, you have Zach Collins. He's 6,400 on DraftKings, 7,200 on FanDuel, a little pricey there, and $23 on Yahoo. The Jazz have allowed the 6th most fantasy points to centers this year. He's at 27.6% on DraftKings, 16.6% on FanDuel, and 21% on Yahoo. The next game is at 8 p.m. Eastern as well. The Detroit Pistons in Oklahoma City taking on the Thunder. Oklahoma City is favored by 9.5 as a 228 over under. For the Pistons, Bogdanovich, Alec Burks, Hamidou Diallo, Rodney McGruder, and Isaiah Stewart, they're all out. SGA is out, and Lindy Waters is out for the Thunder. You've got for the Pistons, Killian Hayes, Jaden Ivey, Isaiah Livers, Marvin Bagley, James Wiseman. And then for the Thunder, Josh Giddey, Isaiah Joe, Lou Dort, and then both Jalen Williams. My favorite play on the Pistons, once again, I liked him against the Bucks. I like him here against the Thunder as well. Jaden Ivey, he's 7,200 on DraftKings, 6,600 on FanDuel, and $22 on Yahoo. The Thunder have allowed the 9th most fantasy points to shooting guards this year, and he already had 49.3 DraftKings points the last time they faced the Thunder, which was on November 7th. He's averaged 39.3 DraftKings points in his last 3 games. It's a good matchup. He's trending up for sure. He's 5.9% on DraftKings only, 17.6% on FanDuel, and 17.4% on Yahoo. And then on the Thunder with SGA out, of course, you're looking at Josh Giddey and Jalen Williams as the 2 main guys that are, going to get most of that usage. Giddey is 8,500 on DraftKings, 8,300 on FanDuel, $31 on Yahoo. The Pistons have allowed the 3rd most fantasy points to point guards this year. He's 7.4% owned on DraftKings, 15.7% on FanDuel, and 18% on Yahoo. Then you have Jalen Williams. He's 7,200 on DraftKings, 7,100 on FanDuel, and $27 on Yahoo. He's averaged 38.9 DraftKings points without SGA this year. He's at 8.1% on DraftKings, 20.1% on FanDuel, and 14.2% on Yahoo. The value here is in Isaiah Joe. He had 39.5 DraftKings points last night in Charlotte. He's 4,800 on DraftKings, 5,500 on FanDuel, and $10 on Yahoo. The next game is the Los Angeles Clippers in Memphis taking on the Grizzlies. The Clippers are favored by 1.5. It has a 231 over-under. For the Clippers, Norman Powell is questionable. Brandon Boston, Paul George, and Marcus Morris are out. For the Grizzlies, John Conchar is questionable. Same thing for Xavier Tillman and Vince Williams. Desmond Bane is doubtful. Jaren Jackson is also looking like he's not going to play. He's listed as doubtful. Tyus Jones is also doubtful. So some of their main guys for sure are out here. Steven Adams is out, and Zaire Williams is out. So it's pretty much going to be Ja Morant and a bunch of scrubs for the most part for Memphis. So you've got for the Clippers, Russell Westbrook, Eric Gordon, Kawhi Leonard, Nicholas Batum, and Ivica Zubac. And for Memphis, Ja Morant, Luke Kennard, Dylan Brooks, David Roddy, and Xavier Tillman. I do like Kawhi here with Paul George out. He's 10,000 on DraftKings, 10-1 on FanDuel, and $41 on Yahoo. So on DraftKings at FanDuel, his price has definitely gone up. He did have 56 DraftKings points against Memphis on March 5th. He is 5.6% on DraftKings, 11.4% on FanDuel, and 22.6% on Yahoo. And you have one of the highest owned players on the slate in Ja Morant. 9,000 on DraftKings, 9,900 on FanDuel, $42 on Yahoo. He's only averaged 38.8 DraftKings points in 9 games against the Clippers. I thought that was really interesting. The Clippers have struggled with point guards. They've allowed the 4th most fantasy points to point guards. Morant's been playing limited minutes, though. He's only averaged 36.8 DraftKings points in his last 3 games. He's at 53.8 on a 10-game slate, 53.8% on DraftKings, 42.3% on FanDuel, and 46.8% on Yahoo. I'm really seriously debating on fading Morant tonight. I just think that his ownership is way too high for a 10-game slate. And like I said, the production hasn't been there. I just think that there's other players at that position that I can use that are cheaper, that are probably going to have similar numbers. I really think I might be fading Morant tonight. I haven't decided for sure, but I'm definitely leaning that way. Then you have Santi Aldama. He's 4,000 on DraftKings, 4,400 on FanDuel, and $12 on Yahoo. He's also very highly owned, 44.3% on DraftKings, 45.5% on FanDuel, and 7.4% on Yahoo. Then we go to the 2 hours later, the 10 o'clock slate. You've got 2 games on it. The Minnesota Timberwolves at the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix is favored by 5, has a 234 over under. Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns are probable for the Timberwolves. Jalen Noel and Taurean Prince are questionable. Matt Ryan is out. And then Kevin Durant is now listed as questionable for Phoenix. It was thought that he was going to be playing tonight, but it looks like he's questionable now, so not sure if he's going to play. Timberwolves lineup, you have Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert. And then for the Suns, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Josh Okogie, Kevin Durant if he plays, and then DeAndre Ayton. The only play I really like in this game, honestly, guys, is Jaden McDaniels. He's 5,800 on DraftKings, 6,000 on FanDuel, and $20 on Yahoo. He's averaged 37.4 DraftKings points the last 2 times that he faced Phoenix. He's at 0.1% on all 3 sites, so getting no ownership whatsoever. And if you have the salary for that mid-price guy, I think he could be pretty sneaky as a tournament play. Tournament only, not going to play him in single entry or cash. With Kevin Durant back, assuming he is back, I'm going to be fading the Suns here. Now, if Durant's out, I definitely think Devin Booker is in play. Chris Paul would also be in play for me. But if Durant plays, then I'll just be fading Phoenix. Before we get into the last game, let's go ahead and take the look at the chat again. Yeah, I don't get Morant's ownership either, Doug, especially like I said, he's playing limited minutes, and I don't think he's going to be coming off that minutes limit at this point. Last game of the night, Sacramento Kings at the Portland Trailblazers. The Kings are healthy. The Blazers are far from it. Of course, Dame is being shut down basically for the rest of the year, or is shut down now, they've said. On top of that, you have Jeremy Grant and Anthony Simons, Yusuf Nurkic all out. Justice Winslow's out. Trendon Watford and Cam Reddish are doubtful. So the Blazers are just absolutely down to the bottom of the barrel here. This game should blow out. I don't see any reason whatsoever that this game should stay close, especially with what happened was it last night? I think it was last night with the Kings not able to clinch. It might have been Monday, but not able to clinch against the Timberwolves. They're trying to clinch a playoff berth for the first time in forever. And I think the Kings will be pissed off, and they'll come in here and blow out Portland. So I'm not going to be playing any of the Kings. On Portland, they just don't have anybody left, so you can definitely play some of their guys. You've got a ton of ownership here, though. Starting at the top with Shaedon Sharpe, he's 6,700 on DraftKings, 6,900 on FanDuel, and $17 on Yahoo. Really not my favorite play. He's 31% owned on Yahoo. Then you have Keon Johnson. He's 5,000 on DraftKings, 5,700 on FanDuel, $11 on Yahoo. He had 32.3 DraftKings points against the Pelicans on Monday. Cam Reddish is doubtful. He's getting a ton of ownership, 50.9% on DraftKings, 36.2% on FanDuel, and 55% on Yahoo. Then you have Nasir Little. He's 5,100 on DraftKings, 4,700 on FanDuel, $10 on Yahoo. He's at 24% on DraftKings, 48.6% on FanDuel, and 33.2% on Yahoo. And then Drew Eubanks, 4,700 on DraftKings, 5,600 on FanDuel, $12 on Yahoo. He's at 25% on DraftKings, 20% on FanDuel, and 20.4% on Yahoo. So that is the look at the 10-game slate for tonight. Before we move on to our PrizePicks plays, does anybody have any other questions? Do I like Herter? No, I don't. I think that I usually like Herter, but tonight, no, I don't think it's a good spot for him. I just think that like I said, the Kings should win this game handily, and I don't think the minutes are going to be there. And especially with it being a 10-game slate, there's so many other options in his price range. But I will say this, Doug, when you've asked me about players like that, a lot of times you've been right. So sometimes it's just best to trust your gut. So if you have a good feeling in your gut about Kevin Herter, then I would still play him. Because sometimes logic doesn't get it, don't get it right. You know, we're all humans. So it's definitely possible that Herter could be a really good play tonight. All right, so for PrizePicks, my top plays are TJ McConnell, more than 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists, or PRA as we like to call it. He's averaged 37 PRA against the Bucks in the 3 games against them this year. So he should be able to go well over that 23.5 number. And then I like Giannis less than 19 rebounds and assists. He's averaged 16.4 rebounds and assists in his last 5 games. And like I said, with the Bucks playing Boston tomorrow, playing for that number 1 seed, I think they'll be very careful with Giannis tonight and limit his minutes quite a bit. Not a complete, minutes restriction or whatever, but the game really shouldn't even be that close. So that would be another reason why I think that Giannis won't get to that number. All right. Let's see. Must plays for cash and single entry. Must plays. Let's see. There's a lot on this slate. So I think Jordan Nwora is a good one. TJ McConnell. Mikal Bridges, pretty close to a must play for me. Tyrese Maxey, if Harden's out, he's a really good spot. Who else did I like? Jaden Ivey, good spot against Oklahoma City. Isaiah Joe, I think, is a pretty good value play. Keon Johnson is like 50 plus % owned on DraftKings and Yahoo. I think that's a decent value play for somebody that high owned. All right, guys, I guess that is going to do it. Tomorrow is opening day of Major League Baseball, so very excited about that. Coach and I will be putting out a podcast. We're not sure yet if it's going to be recorded live or we're just going to record it and post it later. We'll let you guys know in our Discord about that. But we will be recording our first Major League Baseball podcast of the year, so super excited about that. Huge slate for opening day. Pumped up about that. And obviously, and then we'll have, NBA and everything else like normal tomorrow as well. So hope everybody absolutely crushes it tonight. It's a 10-game slate. So my advice on these kind of slates, these bigger slates, cash lines are usually very high. So if you're trying to make some money, not trying to necessarily take anything down, you might want to reduce your bankroll tonight and focus more on the tournaments. That's, usually it's pretty much an all or nothing deal, but with the cash line being so high, it's really hard to cash and single entry on a slate like this. So just keep that in mind, reduce your bankroll a little bit, have fun, go for it at the same time. And we'll be back again tomorrow when we look to crush it in NBA, DFS, and PrizePicks. Thank you.